Greetings and salutations. We know today is MLK Day, and traditionally, motherfuckers, they like to give you that uppity shit, that uppity history. But that shit get kind of boring. So today we're going to get straight to the plot to kill King. Let's get it. So the U.S. Army, they had a file on MLK since 1947. Your boy J. Edgar Hoover, he plotted on RFK, JFK, and MLK as early as 1956. So he wrote down their initials on a prayer list and had Clyde Tolson send it via Senator Joe McCarthy to Russell Atkins. And you'll find out more about these cats in a second, but it just goes to show you how early they was on your boy. An official decision to kill King came as late as 1966. His death had to happen in Memphis. So during the same year, Hoover, he would pay $25,000 to orchestrate an escape of a Missouri inmate you know as James Earl Ray, and they used him as the scapegoat. So the area where King could be killed, it wasn't set in stone for a while, really. The New York and Chicago mafia bosses, they declined the $1 million murder contract on King from the CIA and FBI, but guess who didn't? The New Orleans mafia. So Carlos Marcello, he accepts the offer, but he's working with Memphis bosses Frank and Sal Liberto to carry out the killing. So that's why it has to happen in Memphis. And your boy Lloyd Jowers, he's the connecting piece to it all. Now, the government, they loved Memphis for a number of different reasons, but one of the main reasons was that they had all their flunkies down there, so they could easily manipulate any system. But they had to get MLK down there, and so they did that through some orchestration. There was one event where two sanitation workers were killed, swallowed up in a garbage truck packing mishap to heighten that tension and get King to Memphis. And so it was your boy Frank Holloman of the Memphis police who specifically ordered that murder. So another cat that you need to know about, J. Edgar Hoover's homie, Russ Atkins. This guy, he was a mafia leader, Klansman, and 32nd degree Mason, as well as a supervisor in the Memphis Public Works Department. So he was definitely a major factor, somebody you need to know. But who else? So it was a guy named Ron Tyler who came forward as a witness. He admits that his pops, Russell, was giving money to a guy named Ozzie Evers. So this guy, he was a local black leader in Memphis, but he was paying 3 people for their intel on MLK. Solomon Jones, Reverend Billy Kyles, and Jesse Jackson. So remember the guy Clyde Tolson I told you about from earlier? He was a second-ranking official for the FBI. He admitted to Tyler that these three, the 3 that I just named, amongst others, were all paid informants. By 1967, the official plan to execute King had been set. Now, before the assassination earlier that week, King's room, it was moved from 202 to 306, so he'd be on the 3rd floor for a clear shot. OZ, he's the one who told Jesse to make that change. They couldn't trust Solomon to go through with it. So not too many people truly know who pulled the trigger. It was out of 2 people, though. Raul Pereira of the Mafia, or it was Lieutenant Earl Clark of the Memphis Police Department. And it's also noted that one of the snipers were recorded giving a warning to others stating friendlies will not be wearing ties. Funny because earlier that day, Jesse and King, man, they was going back and forth about that tie. Jesse did not want to put that tie on, but King, he was like, man, you're not dressed for the occasion, man. You look like a bum. And so, yeah, Jesse, he already knew what was finna go down. But anyways, we also got to note that Andrew Young, he was supposed to be killed the same day as MLK, but he was in the staircase when the shooting occurred. Moving forward to the actual shooting, it was Markel McCullough, who was a black military intelligence agent who was the first to King after he was shot. So his job was to check for life signs and report death or no death. And so everybody who was up on the balcony, they didn't know who this cat was. And so after the 6 p.m. shooting, King was rushed to the hospital. He had to go to St. Joe Hospital for their plan to work just in case he survived the shooting, which he did. So what happened next? Surgery was rejected by Dr. Bland, and Dr. Bland was actually the Atkins family doctor, so you see the connection there. Dr. Bland, he also had a certain lethal injection as backup just in case none of his other plans didn't work. And so at first they wanted to kill King on Lamar Avenue, and that was at the Holiday Inn in Memphis, but they lost track of him during his time in Memphis during that march. So they said, look, this killing, it got to happen at the Lorraine. Jonathan Shelby, he said his mama worked at the hospital. Mama name was Lula May. So she heard sounds of men gathering up spit and spitting sounds. That's when she looked back behind her and seen Dr. Bland put a pillow on King's face, and he remained in the ER with 2 men in suits. So Dr. Bland and the 2 men, they spit on King. Breathing tube was removed, and he was smothered to death, declared dead 7:05 p.m. 1999, the King family, they take Lloyd Jowers to court, and they end up winning. And so this court case, it proves that different government agencies, along with the mafia, Memphis State Police, all these people played a part in the assassination of MLK. Now, this video that I'm about to show you, it was from 1981, and it was actually used in court as evidence to prove that the government had something to do with the murder of MLK. And the guy speaking, Reverend Billy Kyles.
Three preachers in a room, Abernathy, King, and Kyle. And we spent that last hour together in room 306 at the Lorraine Motel. The press is always curious, and writers, what went on? What did you talk about? I say, we just talk preacher talk. What preachers talk about when they get together?
Y'all pay
revivals and all
what
that.
you're fixing to hear now.
About 5:45, we walked on the balcony, and he was talking to people in the courtyard. He stood here and I stood there. Only as I moved away, so we could have a clear shot, the shot rang out.
Thank you.
I turned around and then I stood back on the balcony.
Ladies and gentlemen, The Plot to Kill King. I also want to pinpoint the 3 books that I've self-published within the past 5 years. The latest one, The Dark ABCs of History, I'll be releasing on my birthday, January 24th, a week from today. Make sure y'all look out for that on Amazon. Always remember, not here to offend anybody, just here to make you think. I'll holler at y'all later.